directly from New York, please welcome Suede and Trillo. Ta-da!
Oh, it's nice to see you. I was wondering where you are. She was hiding there.
Well, we found her. It's glad we had a little technical difficulties logging in, but here we are. I see me.
I see myself. I see Caroline. She looks a lot better than you.
Okay.
Well, so nice to be able to talk to you like this about whatever we're going to talk about. What are we going to talk about?
I will ask you a question because you are Suede, is it?
Suede, yes, Suede.
Suede, my
You
pronunciation.
say it however you like, but
Yeah.
it's Suede. This is
Yeah.
Trillo. He's Trillo.
He's Suede.
We're detectives.
Private
Yeah.
investigators.
And that's kind of really good because I'm actually also investigating about puppetry art. And everyone, if you want to talk on the chat, also if you have questions for those characters, be free to write it down. So I will put my investigator hat, and
Now
I
you're
have
like an investigator. That's good that way. Where's your hat? And my hat also. We forgot them.
Yeah, I couldn't find his hat before we were live here.
Yeah, hiding someplace. I feel kind of naked without that fedora. We love to wear the fedoras, you know? Well, okay, sometimes without.
So we have a big question. We are at the Puppet Podcast, Suede, and we try to solve this question about what is a puppet.
That's a very philosophical question. How many hours do we have here? I could talk about that all night. Well, the main thing you got to remember about a puppet is it's always superior to a human being. Always.
Yeah.
And human beings have an inferiority complex. I have to deal with Trillo's inferiority complex all the time. So I don't like to rub it in too much because he knows he's inferior. I'm the brains of the operation, but he's kind of intuitive. You think so? Yeah, he's got a good sense. I'm more intelligent, but he can help me sometimes in my investigations. So together we're a good team, I think.
Yes, I think so. But do you feel sometimes like puppets have to be manipulated, like they don't control themselves?
Yeah, I know. That's kind of an illusion, you know. People say that it's just a story.
You don't think it's true?
No, it's but I let Trillo have that illusion sometimes that he can manipulate me, but actually it's the other way around.
Oh,
No.
So you manipulate your partner?
Yeah, but don't tell him. He's very upset about that. It's going to hurt our investigations. He's got a lot of neuroses anyway.
Well, you don't have to tell all our secrets.
Well, it's only your secrets. Yeah, but well, that's how we're good together. We wanted everybody to know a little bit about what we do.
So
yeah, told us about what you
right.
do.
Yeah, so we shot a web series. You want to tell them about it?
Well, coincidentally, it's called Trillo and Suede.
Yeah.
That name.
So that's it's on YouTube. Anyone can log in and see our 10 episodes.
Season 1. We're going to shoot season 2 very soon. Really
Yeah.
cool. So you can see a lot of our cases and how we go about investigating.
Yeah, and you produce yourself. Both of you produce this show, isn't it?
Yeah, we did it ourselves. It's out of our own pockets. But we're going to do what are we going to do? Crowdfunding for the second season in a few days.
We're going to launch a crowdfunding campaign in a few days. We're going to shoot it one way or the other. So even if we have to dip into our pockets, probably have to do some of that.
Yeah, but we're still going to shoot it soon. As soon as we can. You know, we got this coronavirus thing going on. But as soon as we're allowed to shoot it, we're going to shoot it.
Yeah, because you cannot shoot when this virus goes on, eh? In New York.
It's a real drag, yeah, especially here. It really sucks over here.
Yeah, epicenter right over here. But it is getting better, so hopefully they'll be able to safely open things up pretty soon so we can shoot season 2.
Yeah, but in the meantime, we got season 1 up there, winning all kinds of awards, I must say.
Yeah, in film festivals all around the world, internationally.
Yes, this is a good win for that, to be international. That's what the podcast is also. So you are a big star.
That's cool. Yeah, so we've been we're all around the world, both of us, all of us. Well, you too.
Yeah, me too.
Not Caroline, but
Okay.
feel left out sometimes.
Yeah, and I want to ask you, because you do web series, and web series is kind of the new thing, because with this confinement we want to find other way to get creative. So like I want to ask you, like, your purpose behind that, to bring that to the screen another time. Do you have like something you said that I want to go there in my career?
Thinking about this for many years. We wrote a lot of scripts
For feature films. A few of them, right? 5 of them. We tried to get produced. Almost got them produced several times.
Yeah, false calls.
Yeah, false alarms. Trying to get the funding, trying to get production going. We did produce a short film, Oxford Park,
a few years ago.
Yeah, in England, one of our mystery capers, a short film, which was nice, but it didn't lead to the big stuff we were trying to get. But then we just decided last year that it's time we just did something on our own. So we sat down and wrote these 10 episodes to comprise season 1, to show everybody some of the exciting cases that we investigate on our own.
Right, in New York City over here.
In Brooklyn, New York, that's where our office is.
Yeah, and I watch some of the episode, and it's really, really funny, because at some point you kind of broke the wall of like the camera, the director talked to the puppet, to the comedian during the episode. It's really new.
Break the fourth wall.
It's a very flimsy wall, a very thin wall. It breaks very easily.
Yeah, because we kind of have a blur between reality and illusion.
That's what our whole lives are like. We're blurring the line between reality and illusion. We don't even know what the heck the answer is. So just let it grow, let it rip on screen.
Yeah, so we figured let the series be just like that, to sort of play out that kind of confusion, the blurry world that we live in.
Let everybody enjoy it. It's fun.
Yeah, and I want to ask a little personal question, because as an investigator, we have to go sometimes deeply. I want to know when your crush, like as professional crush, you both guys, when that crush happened.
A crush?
Yeah, but like how you like fall in love with this puppet or this art or this team, to be a team as detective.
The main trouble I find is that our clients are always falling in love with me. Yeah, but I do love what we're doing, because I can use my intelligence to figure things out. Yeah, and I'm sort of used to Trillo by now. This guy over here, you.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we used to do shows together, but that was kind of humiliating.
Oh yeah.
We didn't like being the dummy. So
yeah, ventriloquist puppet. That's disgusting. So instead, I said, look, you want to work with me? We got to do something useful that uses my intelligence. So let's become detectives.
Yeah.
That made it a lot more exciting.
Because you used to do other job before, Suede?
Shows, yeah. Like the typical ventriloquist show, like, oh, look, he's got a dummy. Very funny. Yeah, but now we're partners.
Partners, yeah.
Yeah, because how you feel sometimes when you feel dummy, how it makes you feel inside.
Yeah, unappreciated.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so now people are beginning to realize my true value. I mean, the dames always appreciated me, but now the whole audience does.
Yeah. And you were talking about ventriloquist show, but like I always want to ask a ventriloquist about, like, do you think the ventriloquist art is going up? It's getting more popular, or you feel sometimes it's more something on the side? How do you feel about the popularity of it?
I think ever since we released the web series, it's going way up now.
Yeah.
That's gonna really help to understand what the true possibilities are in this thing. Well, I'll admit it now. I hate to do this, but I'll confess that Trillo here used to make me talk. Like a ventriloquist, kind of embarrassing.
Yeah.
But then something happened.
Yeah, something happened. Well, at a certain point, I breathed life into him, and so he became autonomous.
Yeah, that's what happens sometimes. It's a little secret I'm letting you know, Carolyn. And
Yeah, that's
most people don't know that it can happen that way.
Yeah, if ventriloquist is enthusiastic enough, concentrated enough, intense. At some point, it seems that, to my own surprise, I breathed life into him.
Yeah, so I don't really need him anymore. But we do it like this because we're used to it.
yes, I totally get it. And as a team, do you like have a wish to play at some point in big TV show, or you feel humble? I want to ask this.
Oh yeah, well, we figure that when the web series really takes off, maybe Netflix is going to be interested, or Hulu, or some of those guys, HBO, Showtime, who knows? Yeah, that'd be nice if they want to do that.
Yeah, we'd love to get picked up by one of the big networks like that to have a big time show.
But it doesn't matter. We'll keep doing the web series. That's pretty cool, also.
Yes, it's an example. It's really a persistence thing. We have to keep going and going in this art, and it's really I'm really glad to have the first duo puppet and character right there. And yeah, thank you. I will maybe have a question for Jonathan. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I heard about that. We keep hearing about that guy all the time. I don't know who the hell he is. Do you?
Well, I have an idea, but yeah, it's annoying that people kind of think that he's the brains behind this whole thing.
Yeah, but yeah, I did hear about him. I saw a picture of him. So the photo kind of looks like you.
Yeah, he does, coincidentally.
Yeah, but you know something, Carolyn? I think he's a fictitious character.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes he kind of lurks around here.
That's an illusion. Trillo thinks he sees him sometimes.
Oh yeah?
Here.
Yeah, I think he's there. I see him lurking around our house over here.
Oh yeah? Do you think you can like grab him, like or maybe just?
Look, Carolyn, I don't know why the heck you don't want to talk to him, but okay, if you want to, you want to see if he's there. I'll give it a go. Let's take a look.
All right, we'll see if he's here. Okay.
Okay. I will talk to the screen. Just have a look. Okay. So I'm really excited of this happening in the show. Ta-da!
Hi.
So they finding you.
I'm the elusive Jonathan Geffner.
And hey, I'm so happy to get the chance to have you in character in the show. That's amazing.
Yes, well, thank you for having us on. That was a lot of fun to do it that way.
Yeah, I think it's also good promotion for what's next coming in with your project. I really like to see the reality, and I think it's good for the audience. And I want just to ask you, because when we meet a ventriloquist, we want to see the path of like study. Like, in your opinion, what will be the best field of study to become a puppeteer, but also ventriloquist, but also actor, writer? Like, what is your opinion on that?
Oh, about the path, how I got to this point?
Yeah, you and how you could suggest maybe to someone if he wants to do kind of this.
People seem to become ventriloquists from different paths. The main paths are either puppeteers of other kinds. A lot of ventriloquists start off with other kind of puppeteering, and then ventriloquism was just another kind of puppeteering they wanted to try. And some people decided they love that, especially they want to focus on that. So some of them are kind of general puppeteers or ex-puppeteers of other kinds. Others are comedians. Sometimes stand-up comics, people who are involved in comedy, they decide to become a ventriloquist because they use the dummy as a prop to tell jokes. So it comes out of that background of comedy. I guess people can come from any kind of direction, but that seems like the most common backgrounds. I did a number of things before I became a full-time or main professional ventriloquist. I mean, it's been my main career for most of my adult life. But before that, I started off with other interests. I was a pianist. I have a master's degree in piano, so I was a serious pianist, sort of concert pianist for a while, pursuing that when I was young. and then I've gotten into several other things, other interests. I was teaching. So as a teacher of kids mainly, I was a school principal, in fact, briefly, right before I sort of switched over my career. So I used puppets to help teach the kids. And sometimes I started off with just hand puppets, and then I saw a ventriloquist in New York City on the street performing, and I just fell in love with the whole concept of it. So then I made it my business to learn how to. I was determined I was going to learn how to be a ventriloquist. And I sought out somebody. I saw in a Backstage. It's a industry journal here in New York for actors. And I saw a little greeting from a ventriloquist. And so I called his service, got in touch. I took a few lessons, 4 lessons with him. He taught me the basics of ventriloquism. And then I just went on from there practicing. I went to every ventriloquist show I could, went backstage, talked to ventriloquists as much as I could, try to get pointers, went to an annual ventriloquist convention. And so that became my obsession in life almost immediately. So I kind of switched everything to being a ventriloquist.
That's amazing. I always really enjoy to see the relation of a ventriloquist and his character. It's really like love and at the same time an hate. It's really interesting.
Yeah. So that's something that I used. I became a kids performer mainly because I was teaching the kids mostly. That was my main experience, and I have a good rapport with kids. I communicate well with them. I enjoy, being with. So I was mainly a kids performer doing school shows, but I did adult shows too. It's just not as much. And my favorite shows have always been family type events where I could do shows on different levels at the same time to different age groups. I love being able to the challenge of entertaining a wide age range at the same time and not talking down to the kids, not making it too childish like babyish, but yet holding their interest. So those are my favorite kind of shows. I still do shows with a lot of other characters. I have a bunch of characters, but I'm focusing now most of my attention and efforts on pursuing the Trillo Suede concept and project.
Yeah. And do you feel like the fact that you focus like this, it's fearful you as an artist? Or sometimes, because I saw people doing many projects and people just get focused on one. Do you think it's a good way of success to keep on one track and persist?
I don't know what's going to be more successful. I mean, at this point in my career, because I've been doing it for several decades, and I've been making a career of it. So I'm, grateful to that, to be able to make a career of it as a performer. But mostly in New York, I have some. I guess I'm known in the New York area somewhat, and some people from other places too, from some TV shows I've been on and videos I've produced. But I'm not obviously a big name in ventriloquism. But part of that was a decision I made long ago to stay home when I have two daughters.
Yeah.
One's just out of college, one's in college. But when they were growing up, from the time they were born, I was Mr. Mom. So, and I was a single dad for most of that time. So I didn't want to be on the road, and I wanted to be home. So I decided I'm not going to pursue my career if it's going to take away from my kids. So that was my priority. I did shows as much as I could, but staying in the New York City area mostly. I'm free to travel now, but I don't feel like traveling much. I don't want to be on the road.
And with the circumstance right now, we're questioning the traveling anyway.
Yeah, well, now it's a moot point. I can't travel anyway. But I mean, even before this pandemic hit, I felt that way. But maybe to get back to your question about whether it's going to be a big success or not, it's something that is very gratifying for me artistically, creatively, because I've been thinking about this, and I've been writing scripts for over 2 decades. Most of it haven't been able to get produced because it's complicated. Not something I can just take a home camera and shoot on the street. To make it good, it's involved. It's kind of a period piece, semi-period piece. I want to create the film noir era, 1930s, 40s look. Partially, but it's also it's an alternate universe, so it's kind of a mix of that era and modern, just all mixed up.
Yes, and it's really what it's make it interesting because you do everything. You write, you play. We see you. You are the main character. So, do you feel sometimes a lot of pressure? Or
Yes. Well, this was the first season we shot last summer, and that was a very it was a tight budget, and it was a lot of stress on site because some things were not planned well, and we didn't have all kinds of things were going wrong. But somehow we got through it and salvaged it, and I'm very pleased with the outcome. I think, considering the challenges we had, I think it came out very well. So I'm very gratified and pleased with how it did come out. But yes, very stressful to shoot that. I learned some things from that I believe will make season 2 easier and more efficient to do.
Yeah, we have Mark here, Mark Berryman, who asked, have you considered bringing other puppets into the Trillo and Suede series?
Yes, I do have a lot of other puppet characters. In season 1, I did have Sarah Levinsky. In my shows, I call her Aunt Sarah, but in the series, we go by Mrs. Levinsky, an old lady puppet. And she did appear in a couple of episodes. She was, in fact, our client in one of them. But we have a lot more. So, yeah, I would like to bring more into the series. But, just thinking about working out how to work them in. It's a little complicated because since we're on a tight budget, we're going to be on a tight budget, season 2 also. It's more time consuming to have more puppets if I can't be manipulating them, so I have to make it work in the script that either I can manipulate them or sometimes show them autonomous, but then I got to factor in it's a little more tedious to do that, either I have to get someone else to operate, we got to sync the voice, so it's much easier if I can hold the puppet and do it. So
yeah.
But yes, short answer is yes, I am planning to get more puppets gradually into the series.
That's amazing. And we will follow that. Thank you very much. I will put the link below the podcast. And I really want to invite everyone to just watching that. This is kind of wonderful to see New York City in this angle of like detective and puppetry. It's really...
It was a lot of fun to shoot, and I'm glad a lot of people are beginning to hear about it and enjoy it. And and great talking to you about it.
Yes, and I wish you to
my alter egos.
Yeah, and I wish you the best in festival also. I know your series is keep doing his way, and I wish it could be seen by many, many people. And I hope this podcast would also help in that direction.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so thank you for being there, and everyone. And as you have a channel, you can go to see like the YouTube channel of Jonathan. You just have to write the name of the series and
Trillo Suede. It'll pop up there.
Yeah, so subscribe over there too, and subscribe to the podcast and share everything, and everyone will be really happy.
Yeah, subscribe to the podcast as well. It's a great podcast. I've seen other interviews you did, and they're always a lot of fun, your interviews.
Thank you very much. And we do our job with passion and art, so that's the purpose of Artist Life. Yeah, so thank you, everyone. I say goodbye. Tomorrow we have another duo, not a puppet and a character, but a duo of puppeteer. So stay tuned on the Puppet Podcast and have a great evening.